Hello and welcome, HeirofCarthage here. Yes, in a world where Air made you wait 4, nay, almost 5 days for the next episode of the Seleucid campaign, tensions were rising. The public was about to revolt. Air had to do something to pacify them, and so his voice finally returned, and he was able to record again just in time to avoid a political civil war. Alright, so hey, welcome back. Figured I'd do some ridiculous, overly dramatic voice since I can now. It's nice to have a voice. Yeah, I didn't have one for several days, pretty much at the end of last week and all through the weekend. And then yesterday I only had time to record a short video, so I was not able to get the next episode of this campaign recorded. But I am doing so now. I still wake up coughing at night, but things are improving day to day. Things are improving, so it's good. We're back. The campaign's going to continue. I'm going to get to your comments today, and speaking of comments, I'm pretty sure I'm about to get to those right now. Let me just check some of the movement points that we have. Getting some intel on the Arverni. We've seen several of their forces moving towards us. They are well equipped here in Iberia, so we should expect quite the fight. And then up north, I'm going to go lay more eyes on the Boii and see what they have in store. The Boii can actually be a fairly powerful faction. They have some really good sword units that can be quite dangerous in the right scenarios. Like we're building siege engines here, so I'm continue that siege at Nicomedia because we had engaged Tylis at war. Oh, someone mentioned to me in the comments, which I appreciate, that I can put this fleet here at Knossos, or higher. Hang on, higher app. Okay, this word doesn't work for me. The English language is screwed up as it is, and then having this combination of vowels and consonants just doesn't work for me. So I'm firing this name and just calling this Knossos for now. So in any case, you were fired. Do this Mr. Burns style, all right? So I'm going to put this fleet here, or sorry, this transport fleet. I'm going to get them some better troops to come face Tylis with, because I'm a little worried that that army may not be quite up to snuff. This army here is missing quite a few troops as well, so this is not ideal. I might need to stop in Antioch because this is a trash stack at this point, and depending on what Tylis is fielding against us, we could end up being in a rather rough position. Let's go back in here to movement points. Hannibal's Revenge is the only one that has the movement points that I don't want it to, or I do want it to continue to be still. We are nearing Ars here, the fabled settlement of Ars. I mean, only one settlement on the map has named itself after the buttocks of a human being. And I feel like the people of Ars have really made sure to put themselves on the map, just maybe not for the right reasons, but nevertheless, we'll never forget that settlement, will we, folks? Let's end the turn, and I'm going to get to some of your comments here. Remember, last time I asked you all what you would be interested in seeing, like what you thought was the DLC that was missing from this game. So a lot of the comments will be in response to that, like them sharing their feelings on which DLC they felt like was missed. And so I'll be reading those, and if you want to participate this week, CA basically came out in a tweet the other day and talked about how someone had done a video reviewing Napoleon Total War in 2021 and basically inviting people to watch it and see how the game has held up. And there are many things in Napoleon Total War that will stand up the test of time pretty well. The AI is not one of them, and that the same could be said in Empire Total War. There were things that I liked much better about Napoleon than Empire, but there were also things that I liked in Empire a whole lot better than Napoleon. Like, I felt like the firing rate and the fire by rank, and just the slightly slower gameplay, to me it actually facilitated a lot more interesting strategies. Although it is definitely clear that Napoleon had better graphical effects, different new features. The AI was much better than it was in Empire, albeit still pretty buggy and messy. So there were improvements, but I don't know. So I figured this would be a fun discussion here. Which one do you all prefer, Empire or Napoleon? I feel like a lot of people will probably come down on the side of Napoleon just because it was such a graphical improvement. But for me, I can't ever come down on the side of Napoleon because the shooting mechanics were just so much better in Empire Total War, despite the fact that Napoleon made so many great improvements. Anyway, just curious. You all let me know what you think. And like I said, I'll get some more of your comments here soon. Where is this? In Cairo. So this is all in Turkey. It looks like we have a rebel faction here? Yeah, slaves. If the map here is right, we should be able to win this pretty easily. Let's go ahead and fight this. I don't really want to fight this or waste the time on it, but I'm kind of forced to. I don't want to just give up the settlement. Tylis is already screaming right through me anyway, so we'll see. All right. Let's see. So I'm gonna talk about one of the comments. So Bishop Bling says Constantine and Rise of Christianity DLC might have been good. I'm not terribly familiar with Constantine and his role, but you're not the first or only person who has ever suggested such a DLC. So curious because that one gets brought up pretty frequently, at least from what I've heard. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot of people who would enjoy it. So thanks for sharing that, and definitely one that I wasn't surprised to see in the comments. I'm going to get some stuff set up here. I'm going to kind of go in some layers. They have a lot of Thurio spears, which will have a ton of javelins to throw. And so I'm going to put some mob out here first and try and absorb some javelin volleys. And I'll have some Eastern infantry out here to do the same as well. Put those like that, and then like phalanx. So we're gonna go straight defensive here. There's no reason to try and fight this at the walls. Might be able to, depending on how much we can cover. But like I said, no real reason to do it. There's not a lot of great artillery positions over here as well, but give it a shot. These ones are kind of angled funny, but might still get some kills. We'll attempt it. There's no... This artillery emplacement right here might be pretty good, though, so we'll see. Alright, let us go ahead and get started. It's going to be a lot of fast forwarding here, so I'm going to go ahead and get some more comments while we wait on the AI to do its thing here. Bozy321 says, bought the Desert Tribes DLC on sale, but sadly I find Numidia too much of a hassle with their poor early infantry and starting position. I prefer the Kush. Their archers are awesome. Have to agree with the others that a small part of India and the Alexander would have conquered would have been a nice expansion. Yeah, that's another reason why I feel like the Alexander DLC was one that was a big miss for me, because they definitely could have added some Indian factions up into that area that he conquered, so it would have been really neat. Francesco says, an exciting expansion to see could be the Roman invasion of Germania that campaigns against Arminius. Yes, that could have been interesting as well. They could have gotten into more detail, maybe added more units to the German roster, maybe a couple of units to the Roman roster just for fun. Could have been interesting for sure. Doglock says, speaking of dog, you all may hear the beagle of Carthage in the background barking like an idiot. He does that from time to time whenever he sees a cat out the window or something. There should have been an India DLC, like how there's an Indian faction in the DEI mod, so I think that one goes basically right there in that same category with what we just discussed, so makes sense. Jacob says, Bronze Age Total War is where I see people's work similar to the Mongols and medieval, and the Huns and Attila chariots would be more of a core unit in the game. There's a lot of people who mention a Bronze Age Total War. I set up here, and the victory point is over here, so I'm going to lose. Wow, that was brilliant air. I'm going to slow clap myself here, because just utter brilliance. I totally set up wrong. So all the AI has to do is go capture the victory point. Brilliant. Well, I'm an idiot, and this battle no longer makes sense to fight, I guess. I'll just fast forward, but we're going to lose. I'll go ahead and fast forward, though, just so that a whole bunch of enemies die, hopefully. But we're going to lose the battle after 150 seconds as soon as the AI puts an infantry unit over here in the victory point, which they are working on.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
My slingers should be, like,
an entire unit has perished.
Able to just unleash over here. There they go. Now they're capturing the victory point. My towers will do a bunch of damage. Like I said, they're going to win because I'm dumb and I screwed up. But we can just sit here and kill as many of these guys as possible at this point. Go ahead and scoot up my pikes. Dumb, dumb, dumb. As in me. I could have easily set up over here too. That's why it was so dumb. Like, I could have set up and defended this point right here, and it would have been no problem. Like, because then they couldn't have gotten behind me. So that was just an idiotic mistake on my part. In some degree, like, you know, I like blaming that on CA, and in some degree they deserve it, because why do you put like a citadel type area with the extra defense on the map, but the victory point lies outside of it so that the player basically can't use it? Like, that doesn't make any sense to design the map that way, right? The victory point should have been inside that citadel, or that citadel type thing I was defending should be removed from the map because it's pointless for it to be there, that being the case. Anyway, whatever. Not a huge deal. For whatever reason, they just sacked and ran off anyway. Child is born. We will deal with it when we get there. But that, I mean, am I wrong, folks? Like, isn't that a bit of a strange map decision? It's like, hey, we're going to put this really defensible position here, but we're also going to put it without a victory point. That way the player never gets to use it because the AI and any other player will just bypass them. Like, you see what I'm getting at? Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's really stupid. So let's disband these and get to recruiting some better troops here. In the recruitment, I don't really want pikes anymore. I'm just going to go with silver shield swords. Let's see, we got 5 there. Disband more of these units. Got silver shields, Thurio spears. Thurio spears are too weak these days as well. And a couple royal peltists. Get some shield bearers. Get rid of these archers. Get some Syrian heavies. I should have checked to see if we had Syrian heavies. We do, thank goodness. Some Syrian heavies. And let's get rid of the cav. And grab some Ozit Knights and some Hellenic Cataphracts. There we go. So it'll take 3 turns, but we'll get this army all the way up to speed. And it makes sense. This is our king. He deserves a proper army. So we're going to give it to him. Got 1 siege engine completed. We're going to need a pretty good number of towers if we want to pull this off. I really don't want to fight on towers. They've got a lot of siege defense time here. Let's continue the siege. These sieges are a bit tiresome. I'm being honest about it, and I am. Let's move up to this point. We will continue replenishing, but we can pull that army over for help. This army is going to need to make a quick stop. I don't like the way this army is set up. Maybe there's better mercenaries I can hire here. Let's get rid of these ones. Some Syrian heavies and some elephants, but there's no infantry. Ah. Just go ahead and stop here in Antioch. I don't like this, but I'm going to have to stop here to do some recruiting. There's other things I'd like to change about this army, but I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm just going to stop here at Antioch. And I need to tank up on some silver shields, and I need more money to finish it this turn, so I'm going to cut out some of the recruiting that was on the back end of that army. But I have the money right now to queue up. Silver shields. At least 4 of them. Yeah, that'll work. I'll keep these Persian light archers for now. Need some cavalry here as well. I don't have... Oh, never mind, I do. It's up here. I was like, I don't have a royal stables here. It'd be good if I had just a hair more money here. Go ahead and cut off these archers, because they won't train till the next turn anyway. Let's go to the... No, not a recruit agent. Is it knights? There we go. Okay, so that'll take care of the recruiting. This one we're waiting on the right building for cavalry. That building exists up here in Medlon, but I don't have the money over the next couple of turns to really mess with that anyway.
For glory and honor.
I have some towers at Bertigala. There is seemingly a lot more holdout time for a lot of these people on sieges. Let's continue the siege.
We take this settlement.
I didn't see the Arverni totally ready to move around my flank. I can't really move Hannibal's Revenge. I can, actually. But I've cleared out a lot of my other forces around here. I should probably keep Hannibal's Revenge there for the time being. Tylis fleets.
Yes.
Gonna keep moving towards Asia Minor. Let's see. My spy busy gathering intel. The Arverni have a lot of troops. A whole lot of troops.
My journey begins.
Okay, so we're getting eyes on the Bowie Eyes. Large settlements back here. The Heralds of Triton are busy retraining. Holding. This fleet is ready to take Ars. Be kind to me. The Auto Resolve is not looking kind to me here. All they have is chosen swords. I don't see why this would be trying to be unkind to me, so I guess I'll fight this. Because I don't want the Auto Resolve to screw me over and take away any boats here. So yeah, I'll take care of this one personally. Let's get some more comments while I'm doing that. DA Wen says Alexander or Constantine's rise would have been amazing. So another vote for Constantine and Alexander. So those definitely seem to be popular. Though to be fair, the Alexander one probably skews a little because I mentioned it and it's possible people hear it and like that idea. Rebs Red 1 says impressive win at the second battle of Athene. Well done indeed. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you for being a viewer. Nick Bovey Gazette says, love the Alexander and Constantine DLC ideas. As we've seen in this campaign, an enhanced politics DLC would have been welcome. Yeah, the politics isn't that interesting in this game. It is better than the nothing that was there previously. But when you go from nothing to something, it's pretty easy to feel like an improvement because it is an improvement when you go from nothing to something. So, long story short there, yeah, I just feel like we should have had more. The politics system is pretty lacking. Okay, let's go ahead and start the battle. I'm gonna unload these boats here. Unload the archers here. They do have a small fleet over here. It's all levy freemen. I don't really want to lose my artillery ships. They're assault raiders. Artillery ships are so painfully inaccurate.
Artillery awaiting orders.
It won't take much if we land some hits. There we go. Just gonna keep firing. Another decent hit right there, so this ship ought to be fairly close to sinking. And get my units ashore. Come on, sink it. Sink it. Come on. The cross-eyed dogs. For some reason, the enemy ship just stopped right here in front of me. I can't say I totally understand that. Another good hit right there. That one killed a bunch of the crew. That ship ought to be near its end for sure. See, there's a substantial strength difference between actual naval vessels and transports. These actual naval vessels can take quite a few hits. We got rid of one. Oof, near miss right there. Hits. Hit. So 2 good hits. Alright, my troops are ashore. Another good hit. Oh, sunk another. How about it? We'll take it.
Artillery awaiting orders.
By your command. Draw weapons. Attack.
Oof, we scored 2 good hits there. I might wait just a second, actually. There we go. Another good hit. The ram hopefully will put that guy under. Yep, it did.
One of our ships is being boarded.
By your command.
Right, move this ship out of the way. Yeah, I can see their sinking ship blocked for me.
Artillery ships ready. Hack them down. One of our ships.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Alright, I don't want my ship being boarded, so let's get in here and try and save it.
Weapons ready.
Artillery at your
Their sinking ships might still be getting in my way.
Awaiting orders. Move out. Ships ready. To the oars. Get at them.
Yeah, I can't get a good ram in here.
Give way.
What's going on? Get out of the way, you dunce. Ooh, scored a hit there. A risky shot, but it was a good point-blank hit. See if we can save my artillery ship. The enemy sallied out a little, but there we go. Alright, so I saved my artillery ship. So no one was sunk. Means I can come over here and get in position to lob some artillery up onto the enemy position. Got some light archers here.
The men are wavering.
Yeah, you're alright though. You survived. There's no need to waver anymore. Never fear, Era's here. I'm sure that gave them a lot of comfort, huh? Knowing I'm there made all the difference. So Chosen Swords are going to hit hard on the charge, but they probably won't perform well long term against my... Oh, that ship went ahead and routed. Bunch of crybabies.
Artillery awaiting orders. To the oars.
Alright, they're going to push forward.
Orders.
I have a Celtic skirmisher unit coming towards me that I will probably prioritize. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually... Let's actually prioritize that chosen sword and chew him up a little.
General!
My own peltist will start tossing javelins back at the enemy troops here as well.
Royal Peltasts! At your service! Royal Peltasts! For glory! Your orders! Forward!
Orders. Ready and waiting.
To charge!
Commander.
Okay, we tore up that chosen sword a little. We got this flank that's about to get beat up a little. I need to move these archers
Our general is under attack.
onto the flank a little. We're outnumbered, which is definitely less than ideal.
Forward! Yes, Commander!
Took a lot of javelins on that unit. My admiral's in some pretty grave danger right now. Let's support against these peltist units. This fight should be going heavily in my favor. These ships, why are they turned around backwards?
Stay on alert! Artillery!
I'm gonna try and get rid of some of these peltists. I'd rather be shooting at infantry. We may very well lose our general here. This was a very bad fight to put my general in. He needs help, and he needs it fast.
Charge!
I'm gonna ignore those few units there because they're about to rout anyway. I'm gonna send some help over. My admiral is probably gonna kick the bucket. If he gets out of this battle alive, it's gonna be nothing short of miraculous.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Okay.
Royal Peltasts.
Got more royal peltists free. I'm gonna send them up to this fight, see if we can somehow manage to save our general. Watch the friendly fire there, watch the friendly fire.
Ready and waiting.
I could try and pull my general out, but I think that's almost as likely to get him killed as it is to save him.
Charge!
At your service. Ready.
Take that!
Ready and waiting.
Royal Peltasts! Melee infantry ready! Royal Peltasts! Orders!
Don't die, general, don't die, don't die. Somehow he still hasn't died, but he is about to. Oh, maybe we'll just get super lucky. It would be a rare occurrence. I hate it that the AI won't just rout. Like, we're totally going to win this battle, and the game knows that we're going to win this
Our
battle,
men flee the field
but
of
it just keeps
battle.
drawing it out further
This
so
is
they
a
can get more
shameful
kills.
display. Our general
Yeah,
has
there he
fallen.
goes. Right at the very end. Like, almost. Like, see, they just had to draw it out just a little farther. It's almost like they knew. Just draw it out a little farther, and then we'll kill that general. The game knows the extent that it can push you. That's irritating, but we'll be alright. We've got enough family members. I hate that we got one killed here, but we'll be okay. There we go. See? Look at that. You know, 10 or 15 seconds. About all the difference we needed. That was a bad decision on my part, though. I knew that unit was my admiral, and I shouldn't have deployed the admiral on the flank because I could see that the flank was going to get overmatched. That was an easily fixable mistake on my part, but also kind of curious how the game works that way, right? Where it's like they can just tell.
Fleets reporting!
We didn't lose anything else, but we lost our admiral. Crazy how that works. Just pure coincidence, nothing else, folks. Nothing to see here. Move along. We got another candidate here from our dynasty. I'm gonna stick him in. So one way or the other, we've taken the settlement. I should have raised it. I did not. So now I'm gonna have to fix some stuff here, and we don't have the money for all this. I need to remember not to let the slums appear over here on the next turn. But we took a settlement off of the Arverni. We'll need this fleet to start replenishing. We could very well be counterattacked by Arverni troops in Iberia, especially considering that we've got the siege going on there. Griffin's Grace is to march north. There are really not much to worry about down here. We could end up with some enemies, but I'm going to go ahead and just march this army north because we're more likely to be fighting Pontus, Tylis, all these others. So, yeah, that the Sons of Rhea are sieging.
At your command!
This army has already been moved. Defenders of Olympus are in a siege. Hannibal's Revenge is holding. And these guys are busy waiting on recruitment, so there we go. Time to end another one here. Let's check on more comments. Smokin' Free says, welcome, Air, and thank you for being a channel member, by the way. Smokin' Free says, an Alexander DLC would have gone down extremely well, I feel. DLC I didn't like was the Rise of the Republic, so I just didn't buy it. I think the Hannibal at the Gates DLC was a good idea, but poorly executed. Yeah, probably could have been done a little better. I do think it was the right idea for a DLC, though. Like, it's a nice little sub-war to focus in on. One that's very popular with people, regardless of whether you fall on the side of liking Rome or Carthage. Now, why is it I don't get reinforcements here when I totally have reinforcements standing within range? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I have reinforcements that were here in range and stood in range intentionally so, and I don't get them. Whatever, I'm gonna fight and win with a single army then. That's really frustrating. I don't understand what happened here. I specifically placed that army there because I saw the yellow arrow to my own army, knowing that it would act as reinforcements, and we got attacked. And it does not get to act as reinforcements, so I am beyond miffed and irritated at this situation.
Thorax swordsmen! Melee infantry at your command. Put your spears!
Alright.
By your orders!
This army is not uber powerful. It is pretty good. Its pikes will be able to hold a steady front. Its archers will be able to rain a significant amount of death onto our enemies. The elephants, Median cavalry should be able to hold their own. I'm going to need the elephants to support my flank units because my flank units are going to be significantly less powerful than something like a chosen sword. But my thorax pikes will be able to hold regardless. What is even going on? All this stuff, naval reinforcements?
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
So they attacked me from sea. Okay. It's gonna be a stupid mess, but I'm gonna turn around and attack these guys first. The movement here does this weird, like, turn around thing, so it's gonna take all my troops a minute to turn around, but I'm gonna face this stuff first. Since it's the closest, we'll march up on it. The stuff that's landing, it's gonna take it a while to march over here. See, the way they flip around like that, it ends up making the movement take absolutely forever, and it gets your men more tired, so it's... Big CA, please. They never fix this. Whenever you have the units in a hard group like this. I think they got better at it in the newer Total War games, but fixed isn't a word that I would associate with it. Moment. They got here chosen swords. They got one oath sworn. Celtic skirmishers, Celtic youth, Celtic slingers, Celtic... So they got a lot of javelins. We do not want those javelins to get time to open up on us.
Ready and waiting. Pikes at the ready! Form phalanx! Thorax swordsman! Commander! Double time! Median cavalry! Armored elephants! Thorax swordsman! Median cavalry! War elephants! Persian archers! Awaiting orders!
Alright, my phalanx is waiting to give the Arverni its loving embrace. Got elephants waiting in the wings. Quite literally in the wings. Okay, time to push up. Medians push up.
Our general is under attack.
Not for long.
As you command! By your command, my lord!
Some fire right there. Attack there. And start wrapping up this flank here. I'm gonna roll in the elephants. These units off fire at will. Come on, elephants, get moving. Keep wiping these guys out. Get in there and give it to him.
Commander, as you command.
Sword! Thorax swordsman! War elephant!
Burial spears. Spears. Melee cavalry.
All right. This is gonna turn into a very quick slaughter.
General is dead. War elephant!
Archer, ceasefire. You ceasefire. And I need.
Thorax swordsman!
So you ceasefire. I'm gonna get the units to quit firing so we don't damage our own elephants in the process.
We await your order.
General's racked up 91 kills. All we've got is just a few oaths sworn
Melee
here.
infantry ready! Thorax swordsman! Advance!
And then we can turn around and face whatever's coming in from the sea. Did have a reboot. Skirmisher.
Spear infantry at your command.
Alright, so very effective against these initial Gallic assaults.
Cavalry!
Turn the rest of these troops around and get ready for round 2. Somehow this unit didn't rout.
Engage! Get ready and wait orders!
They should any moment now. Let's run this unit down real quick too. That Oathsworn, I guess, was feeling quite brave.
Armored elephant!
Alright, there we go. Problem solved.
Cavalry!
Okay, unit was slaughtered. Oh, enemy is at the gates.
Thorax pikemen. We are at your command.
Reposition. They've got some Celtic slingers already opening fire.
Thorax swordsman! At speed!
What happened to my other? Oh, here it is.
Spear. Double time.
Okay, my phalanx was able to position just in time.
Armored elephant!
Men of
Start wiping out slingers. My troops are going to be a little tired, but my phalanx is going to take the brunt of their assault here, which is
Thorax swordsman!
precisely what I would want.
Speed!
Guys just sitting here like, why they shouldn't give cheap units javelins. Look at that. These two levy freemen just killed like 70 expensive pikemen. Like that, it's totally not even the purpose of the levy freemen. Like they're an anti-cavalry unit. They just killed like 70 levy pikes and then took out like 8 or 9 cavalry at the same time. This is why those cheap spear units are just utterly broken in this game, because they have javelins and they shouldn't. Or if they are going to get javelins, their javelins should be significantly weaker.
Armored elephant!
But basically the javelins they throw are same as like almost any other unit in the game. So that's why you end up with these weird balancing issues.
Double time!
Chosen sword inbound on us here.
ready for order.
Let's wipe out the next archer units.
Spear ready!
Chosen spear units.
We are at your command.
General in here.
Waiting. Order.
My cavalry around and rear charge this blob.
Burial spears.
Elephants into this blob. Archers are doing beautifully.
At the ready. Forever.
Pull through that chosen spear.
Charge!
War elephant!
Alright.
Armored elephant!
Yeah, I want to pull right up into this. Second win there. Got an inbound Celtic warrior that's about to throw a bunch of javelins at our elephants. Have to intercept it. The rear charge is on.
Elephants at the ready!
Push through this unit. We need this chosen swordsman to die. My Median cavalry rear charge really should have destroyed the... Well, never mind, it's a chosen spearman. There's multiple chosen spearmen, never mind.
The men are wavering.
I thought those were a lighter unit. Wow, we got destroyed by that Celtic warrior. I didn't think that fight would be great for us, but it went even faster than I thought it would have. Let's get set up for the next wave. This chosen sword is just starting to get really irritating at this point.
As you wish.
No way it's going to stand in this fight for this long.
Thorax swordsmen. Melee infantry.
Alright, general pull through.
Ready.
Because we don't want to take the javelin volley. Trample that through.
Cavalry.
Same thing, cavalry, just pull on through.
We understand.
I'm gonna pull through my own pikes. Lure, dadgummit, we just took a big old javelin volley. Units take forever to respond to the orders there. Alright, let's unload onto some of these chosen swords. This war elephant should have entirely killed that chosen sword by now, but somehow hasn't.
Yes, Commander. Ready and waiting.
These units reform. We just got a bad charge. We got wrecked on the charge by the chosen sword. Yeah, the barbarian swords are so much better than ours on the charge. Like, it is not even close, folks. Like, they are so much better on the charge.
Cavalry. Persian archers. Thorax swordsmen. All days, my lord.
Okay, we don't want to lose our formation too much. I retreated this thorax sword that had gotten wrecked on the charge there. I'm gonna send my general and my cavalry to help support. I've got a pike unit over here taking a lot of damage. It's a lot of formation. Unit of Celtic warriors that somehow broke their formation. Multiple units. This turned into a bit of a mess. Yeah, this pike unit is in big trouble now. Okay, they just wasted their javelin volley here. Actually, they got a spear noble. Oh, the spear noble I don't think has a javelin volley. Alright, I think we got rid of that unit. Let's reposition our archers. Let's try and finish up. Man, they've got so many chosen spears. We jacked up that chosen swordsman on the charge. That was brilliant. Let's fall out of that fight for a minute. We jacked them up bad. That elephant charge was just decimating. One more chosen sword here. Second wind. Units. Inspire my elephants to chew these guys up a little quicker. Let's start ripping into that spear noble. Alright, the pike line has kind of restabilized.
Understood. Advance at speed.
Oh, they did have javelins. I didn't think they did.
Men of Persia.
I'm out of ammunition with my archers.
Pikemen ready for orders. Thorax pikemen. Melee troops awaiting orders. Thorax swordsmen. Awaiting orders.
Now let's get to work, because there's still plenty of it to be done. Fortunately, my elephants here are supremely capable in melee against the Arverni infantry. Mercenary Gallic warriors and chosen swordsmen. The spear noble is under heavy attack by pikes now. And the last sword unit's just collapsed, and the spear noble is going to collapse. Alright, so heavily outnumbered. Big victory for us. I wouldn't say it was going to be like an insanely difficult battle to win, but it certainly needed to be fought right. For the most part, I fought it right. We did make a few small mistakes. But for the most part, that was a good battle for us. We beat down the Gauls at about 4-to-1 ratio, which I will take all day long. They did get a few really good charges, and like I said, you don't want to underestimate that barbarian charge. It is very good. You're using Greek units especially suffer terribly to that barbarian charge, unless it's a pike unit. pike unit will do okay. But yeah, like they suffer terribly to that type of thing. Romans hold up a little better against it because of their armor and stuff like that. However, the Romans also suffer on the charge. You're better off to disrupt those charges. Units that are particularly good at disrupting those charges would be like if you had a light screen of Peltist to get in the way of the charges and the javelin volleys. Elephants, as long as they don't eat a javelin volley, are a great way to disrupt the charge. Cavalry can disrupt the charge. You can use skirmishers to pick at an enemy and weaken them prior to charge, but disrupting the barbarian charge will hurt them very badly because their damage is heavily dependent on getting that charge bonus in. The Roman units tend to have higher attack levels than some of the barbarians, but the barbarians do better AP and they hit way better on the charge. Hey, there we go. Hopefully a little explanation of what goes on there. Not sure why these slaves hit us, ran away, and then came back for seconds on the next turn. Whatever. I get it. I lost because I put my troops in the wrong spot. You should have just taken it on the last turn. Do pirate hunting. An increase in rank. Racked is under siege. We had an enemy wounded. So the Arverni subverted me and went around to Bibract. My fastest response is going to be here.
For death and honor! Let them cower like
How come I'm not
dogs.
getting the reinforcements that I should here? I just don't understand this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break the siege with this army. I'm going to fall back to my own settlement to begin replenishment because I'm very low. And then I'll use this army to take this settlement because we'll take almost no losses. And I won't have to re-recruit anything. Raise the settlements. Alright. Keep that like this. First stables there. Where I forget and create the patchy factories down here. Try and stave that off ahead of time. So I could wait a turn and have this army respond to the siege. We've only got 2 turns. Like, why is my holdout time so bad and theirs is fine? We've got a ton of pikes to help defend. Not a particularly heavy sword-focused Gaul army. I'm going to move over here with Hannibal's Revenge. I guess this is going to be my fastest response time at this point. Try and chase us back. The Iceni aren't going to like me trespassing, and they may very well declare war on me here at any moment. Well, but this is just, it is what it is. That'll give me a chance to move this army up here to take over the defensive position, and then I can recruit my cavalry there as well. Speaking of recruiting, this army now, we can stand up the next turn, so it looks like we were getting our shield bearers and then probably Syrian heavies. Grab 5 Syrian heavies. And some Ozet knights. Just like that. And this army might as well go ahead and push back against Tylis. Fortunately, my allies here are going to get here and start taking these settlements before I can get back to them, but I could try and give them... I don't have another place to give them an order at, actually, so that won't work. Sail towards Rhodes. And this army besieging. We can basically move up into reinforcement range.
Make haste, men.
And then go ahead and attack. Got both armies. The auto-resolve should be quite kind to us, although it'll probably find and kill any elephants it can. Let's wipe these guys out. What did it do to us? Yeah, basically just hurt my elephants and cataphracts. Go ahead and raise this settlement. So, we are hot on the heels of Tylis. It wouldn't hurt to have some recruiting here. This army has more movement points. Go ahead and move up here to Pessinus. Snag it too. Okay. So. Civil settlements. Hang on. Tear that, and then swap that over. There we go. Excellent. So, good progress. I've got another army in position. If Media takes Cide, I can just take this army and scoot to Iconium. And we've got another army marching in behind, so if Pontus decides to get fresh with us, we will be ready. Tylis is now suffering the wrath of many, many armies. Got a couple skill points we need to deal with. Like we're working on the strategist queue here. Replenishment rate for all units. Replenishment rate is probably good stuff. The reduction of siege holdout time, though, is obviously pretty important, too. But I kind of like the idea of replenishment being really high, and then it also gives extra ammunition and armor. Battle Rhythm, so that's a really cool one there, too. Let's get that. Battle Rhythm's a neat ability. I haven't had that one so far yet in this campaign. Look here, too. So this one's on the Zeal tree. That leaves us in a pretty good position. It's just our fleets that haven't moved, and that's fine. Fleets are in a good position at the moment. Like I said, if Pontus pulls something, then that fleet will be in a good spot. Let's take our spy and continue getting some intel on our Arverni foes in Iberia.
Can I be of more assistance?
And we'll slowly gather some intel here up in the far reaches of the map. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I don't have any patchy factories here, so when we get back to Anatolia, we'll be done. I know I have some cash that I could spend on some of these buildings, but I'm gonna wait a turn. Is there any point in repairing this stuff? I guess I'll do it, just in case these guys don't come back, but alright. Yeah, right here we need to build, or else we're gonna end up with a patchy factory. Did manage to catch one. Alright, we're back to Anatolia. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Got one more unassigned skill point, apparently. Be the Heralds of Thanos here. Our new general. Alright. End our turn here. Almost out of time. Let's get another comment here. Johnny Lynch says a rebellion DLC would have been interesting, like several factions which start at different times in Roman Empire, e.g. Jewish Revolt, Spartacus Slave Rebellion. play as the rebels, starting from their start point in units like they would have to try and beat and survive. Now that actually would be pretty interesting and potentially an interesting challenge. I like that idea. Yeah, so thank you. The next comment is from Nathan. He's the one that mentioned to me that I could do the training that I wanted to on Crete. So thank you for mentioning that. I took care of that in this episode, so great comment. Hollow Killer says, the reason they can hold out so long is its support, and you haven't blockaded it. You should also delete the mercenaries in that army that are marching by Jerusalem. Yep, we just did, so I took care of that, and thanks for the info. Appreciate it, Hollow Killer. T-Rex Rex, thanks for being a channel member. The Galatians have respawned now, apparently. He says, a friendship DLC where you can be bros with your favorite faction leader by giving them gifts like prize horses, fine wine, encouraging the AI to do the same. Rome 2 total friendship. I mean, the Troy team is sort of going there, saying Memnon is Troy's best bro. Alright, fun ideas here. Let's see, cultural understanding. Let's do the cultural suppression. Alliance broken between Gaiatuli and Numidia. We just got a ton of cash for completing a chapter objective. I do mean a ton of cash. Okay, so I should be able to successfully push back the Arverni here. Let's upgrade these units, by the way. Have gold cavalry. So hey, what's up? Y'all wanted to fight, right? Appreciate you stopping by. In fact, we'll pick up right here next time with some battle action. This will be Hannibal's Revenge, taking on the Arverni Horde. Not a very good Arverni Horde, but like I said, this will serve as a good place for us to pick up next time. Thank you for all your participation and support. Sorry it was a bit longer this time in between episodes, but I was just sick, so thank you for the patience. Anyway, HeirofCarthage, signing up for now. I will see you all next time. Some more action in Total War Rome 2.